welcome back to Irene Yoga Flow. Today's Sweet Yin class will be focused on opening up our hips. And all you need for today's class is a blanket if you have it, 2 blocks, and a bolster. You can also use a pillow or a towel if you don't have some of these more traditional props. Otherwise, come and meet me on the mat when you're ready. Let's start with a short grounding exercise, so come and find yourself seated, cross-legged, or kneeling. You can begin to lower your eyelids, soften your gaze, and we'll breathe together. Your hands can fall down on the outsides of your hips. And also just slightly tuck the chin. With each inhale, feeling your chest lift up. And as you exhale, feeling the ribs lower down. Maybe noticing other areas of your body right now. And asking yourself why you came here to practice today. What is it you want to learn? What is it that you're curious about? And take a few more breaths together. I invite you to inhale through your nose. And sigh it out your mouth. Again, once more, inhale through your nose. And sigh it out. Slowly lift your gaze towards your screen if you have them closed. So let's start with our first asana for today. Sit back onto your bum. Bend the left knee and then stack the right knee right on top of it. Okay, we're coming right into shoelace pose. Your heels can be away from your hips, just making sure there's an equal distance between both of the heels and the hips. You can also bring the heels together. Inhale, lift the chest up. As you exhale, right hand behind you like a kickstand. You can even bring the left hand over the knees and look over the right shoulder. Give yourself a lengthen your spine with each inhale, and as you exhale, just look over the right shoulder. Bring a bit more of a side twist to your body. Inhale takes you back to center. Reach the arms up overhead. As you exhale, swing the right arm underneath the left. Interlace the hands, coming right into Garudasana, eagle arms. If this is not working out for your shoulders, you can also embrace yourself. Give yourself a nice little hug. Still broadening out the shoulders. Choose your medicine. Inhale, lift the elbow points up, and exhale, fall forward, hinging from the hips. So we're opening up our hips, opening up our shoulders, and bring our limbs together towards the center line. Already beginning to go into that journey inward by contracting and forward folding, which is a very introspective pose. Inhale. Exhale, surrender. Inhale takes you back up. Release the arms overhead, and then exhale, arms down by your sides. We'll switch our legs. Right knee bent on the ground this time. Stack the left knee on top. Again, readjust yourself, making sure everything feels good. And again, if that bottom hip is not liking this bent position, you can always straighten that bottom leg as well, okay? Left hand behind you. You can even place the right hand on your knees. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine. Exhale, look over that left shoulder. With each inhale, lift out of the waist. Exhale, look over the shoulder. Inhale, return back to center, arms up overhead. Exhale, swing the left arm underneath the right. You can interlace the fingers or again, hug. Inhale, elbows point up, and then exhale, softly descend, forward folding over. So the pace is a little bit faster right now. Just doing a little bit more of a warm-up before we slow down. There are all kinds of different yin classes. There are things called active yin. So if you're interested, you can definitely explore. Inhale, rise. Swing the arms up overhead and exhale, release. So we did our first pose for today. Extend the legs out in front of you and widen the distance between them. Doesn't matter how wide you take them. You want to feel comfortable and you want to relax your toes. You can take the blocks if you have them and frame that left thigh. You be the judge. You can place the forearms on the highest height. You can place the blocks on the second height. And if you need a little bit more sensation to get into the low back, you can also just place the forearms on the floor. So we are again twisting as we open our hips here in straddle pose. So this time for yin is a divine feminine time. It's a time to reclaim and rebalance the sacred dual energies that we have within ourselves. Because we need to balance. We need to balance work with rest, movement with stillness. In this yin yoga practice, we are practicing stillness and being in the moment and not reacting to every little thing. We are beginning to change and reshape our relationship to change, to things that may make us feel uncomfortable. And also sharpening our discernment for what is pain and what is change and what we can bear. And these are important things that will help us grow and knowing more about ourselves and how we operate in this world. So this yin pose, we are really letting go of the ego. If you need to readjust at any time or take another pose, I invite you to listen to your body. So you can decide to remove the blocks, come down onto your forearms, or even come back onto the blocks at any time, because we're not working on our muscles right now. We're really working to stretch our passive. We're really working on passive stretching. Static holds. Staying in these poses until we feel almost sensitive and delicate, getting that nice rebound effect. So reconnect to your breath. Maybe letting the neck dangle for the last few breaths here. Inhale, rise. We're going to move the blocks to frame that right leg. And again, playing around with the height of the blocks. You may decide you want to stay up here, and the more you breathe into this area, you can move into a more complex pose if you need more sensation. gently soften in any areas of the body that's holding tension, that's feeling locked and blocked. Breathe into those areas, feeling your prana, your vital life force, filling you, revitalizing you, restoring you. How we tap into that prana, that chi, is through our breath. And this is why the yoga practice is so powerful, because it helps us tap into the parasympathetic nervous system through our respiration. We are able to lower the respiratory rate, thereby reducing our levels of anxiety and stress and inflammation responses. We're able to tone our vagal nerve, the brake that is responsible for these responses in our body. So it's a very, very powerful practice from India. A few more final breaths here, maybe coming down onto your forearms if that serves you, or even coming right back up if that is also what is calling to you. So everybody's bodies are different. Few final breaths, letting yourself soften as much as you'd like, as much that excites you, that feels good for you, that you're curious to work with. Inhale, rise, and we'll forward fold between your legs. You can take the blocks, stack them one on top of the other, and again, elbow points down, cupping your chin. You can also just use one block, or if you have the bolster, you can place the bolster on top of the block, and the block is just where your head will be so that there's more elevation once you begin to fold forward. So you can place your right cheek on the bolster and look over to the left. Relax your toes and soften your gaze. Reconnecting to your breath, not holding it anywhere, but letting it go freely, naturally. Returning back to its natural cycles and natural patterns of breathing, ones that feel freeing and liberating. You may even want to reach the arms forward in front of you if you are resting on the bolster, just to completely sink in and feel supported, and to let go. You're letting go of what we think a pose should look like. We're tapping right into how we're feeling, which is the source of it, the source of what we're trying to get at in terms of the goals of Yin Yoga. You might find that as you surrender to the bolster with your arms a little bit extended, this is starting to create an intense stretch down the insides of your legs. Notice any resistance you might have. Notice any new sensations that are arising and how you can breathe into those areas. Any pain sensations, sharp or tingling, I would invite you to listen to your body and come up. Come back to a neutral position. If you have your right cheek resting on the bolster, I invite you to turn your cheek to the other side. And again, settle in. So Yin Yoga may be traditionally thought of as really targeting the low back and the hips, which is what this class is really focused on. But we can still also work our upper body, getting in our little twists. So it's effective in that regard too. So again, we are sharpening our discernment of what is pain and what is walking that razor's edge, and finding that balance, that homeostasis, and knowing that homeostasis is a balancing act. It's not a permanent, forever state that we get into, but it is a state that changes, right? I know for me, this is starting to feel quite intense. This is what makes Yin Yoga look simple, but not necessarily easier, because static holds, spoiler alert, is actually harder to hold than dynamic movements. Okay, one more breath here. Slowly, carefully, using your palms to walk yourself back upright. Can move the props away with control. Slowly close the legs like the pages of a book. Bend your knees, plant the feet on the ground, and just do some windshield wipes. Just to counteract and bring some life back into your limbs that may be feeling a little bit sensitive right now. And when you're ready, you can turn the knees out. And if you'd like, we're gonna come into butterfly. So you can bring the heels close towards your groin. If you find the knees are lifting up, or if you just find you want a little bit more support here, you can always tuck that bolster underneath your knees. You're still in your butterfly leg formation. You can place the hands over the tops of the feet. You can begin to fold forward, or you can take that block, place it in between your feet as well. On the highest height, rest your forehead as you fold forward. On the second height, and see how that goes. You might find over time you want to adjust the block or come up. You decide. These times that we create for ourselves, where we take care of our bodies, is a really healing time to acknowledge the fact that our bodies are not machines. It's not a machine because it's not like we can take a body part in and get a tune-up. Because all of our body parts, all of our body systems are connected and communicate to each other. There is a cyclical, circular relationship that happens. And beyond that, our body has a living consciousness that we just need to listen to. There's so much that our physical body and our spiritual, subtle bodies are trying to tell us if we can just start to trust those messages. You might find at this time, you might want to move the block to the second height. Because you've been here for a while, so that might feel interesting for you to surrender a little bit more, to have a little bit more room to surrender. However, if this is already enough, you can always just ignore these suggestions. A couple more breaths here, and I'll keep silent. Inhale, slowly rise, carefully with control. You can move the block out to the side, move the bolster out to the side. Into a tabletop position, tuck your toes. Lift the knees, bring the hips back and up, coming into down dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up towards the sky. As you exhale, bring the right knee in towards your chest and move forward and plant that right foot in between your hands. Lower the back knee. This time you can take your blocks with you and place them to frame that front foot. We're coming into dragon. You can untuck that back foot. If you find that your knee is a little bit sensitive and you know that we're gonna be here for a while because you're smart, you can always place a blanket underneath for some padding. You can also roll up your mat if you don't have it. Otherwise, start to settle into this pose. So this is dragon pose. I can't remember now if I said lizard. It's lizard when we're in vinyasa, and it's dragon when we're in yin. It's essentially the same formation, but we are passively holding this pose, and we're holding it for longer. Again, working into our hips, opening them up, because we sit for most of the time in the society that we live in. And to introduce range of motion in our hips is something that we need to do. We need to find opportunities for. And that's why we're here today. So again, you might find you want to lower the blocks, or even come right down into onto your forearms. And again, use that block. You can place your forehead on there. If again, it's a lot of weight for your neck to bear. So reconnecting with your breath, not holding it in, making it natural, making it easy, because that is how you tap into the parasympathetic nervous system. In our modern society, there is a lot of stress that we experience, a lot of chronic inflammation as a result of this stress that we constantly deal with, from the barrage of emails, for the messages that we get in society. It's hard to slow down, and when we do have a chance to slow down, we're still in that fight or flight response. And so when we breathe, we are reducing those levels of chronic inflammation. A few more breaths here. I know this may seem like a very long time, but we're almost there. And then we'll do the other side. And don't be hard on yourself if you need to come back up or take a break, right? Because if this is the first time that you're moving today, this is the first time that you're doing this pose, you know, we're no longer children. Our bodies are not plastic that way anymore. Inhale, press yourself back up. Take that block, move your hips back slightly so that you begin to straighten that front knee. So we're going to place the block right underneath our bum. But before you sit on it, just making sure that it's in a position where you are not going to fall. We're coming into our dragon splits for today. Relax the toes on the front foot. Arms down by your sides. You can place them in prayer in front of your heart if you'd like. Tuck the chin slightly. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and as you exhale, let that belly fall. You can also place that block on a lower height if that gives you more room. I kind of like it at a lower height. I feel a little bit more safe. But obviously, when you place it at a lower height, you're coming deeper into your splits pose. So start to notice all the sensations that your body is sending you right now, is telling you. And can you blossom into this pose? One thing that I heard that I really like to think on is that there have been studies that show that two people with the same stress markers will report different negative stress responses based on how they perceive their relationship to their stress, which is just another way of saying that we could both have the same stress markers on a physiological level, but if I think and feel that I am very, very stressed, then that will actually impact my stress levels, even if we both have the same markers. And so yoga, again, is teaching us how we can change our relationship to stress, but also learn what our body is telling us, because we can be so disconnected from our body. If you don't have splits pose in your practice, if you have pre-existing injuries, this is going to feel a lot for you. This may also feel really liberating as well. And maybe you have both of these feelings in you right now, and it changes, right? So I'm going to stop talking for a second, and we're going to breathe here for a couple more breaths. Again, slightly tucking the chin, looking down, or even closing your eyes. I invite you to do what serves you. Place the palms to frame that front foot. Press yourself so much so that you lift the bum off the block, bringing that heel close towards you and bending the knee. Coming back into tabletop. You can move as slow as you'd like, because you might feel a little bit of sensitivity, like you might be like china glass. And that is that rebound effect. I'm just shaking, moving from side to side my hips, wagging my tail. And do whatever you need right now. And when you're ready, again, lifting our knees away from the mat and coming into down dog. Again, we can start with the blocks at the highest height. Just getting us settled into this pose and feeling into this pose. The more we breathe, the more we can settle, the more we can perhaps surrender and find more space for that expansion and growth. Noticing if your breath is becoming short or you're holding it. Your breath is powerful. So tapping back into it, refocusing your energy and your attention. Imagine your prana, your life force. Imagine your chi. Revitalizing, replenishing, being restored through this very act of breathing and holding this pose with grace, with strength, and without ego, right? This isn't a competition. This is a journey. We're not competing with anyone. We're not competing with ourselves. We're just here to enjoy this moment as much as we can. You can bring the blocks down, or you can even move them off and place your forearms inside of that left leg. And how can you let go of any distractions that you have right now, any urge to move or adjust, and practice stillness, even for just 1 second. And if you have to move, if you have to change this pose, I invite you to do so. These two suggestions may seem like they're contradicting each other, but we can hold paradoxes within ourselves. One thing, both things can be true, right? Depending on what is appropriate. A few more breaths. Inhale, press yourself back up. Bring your hips back, but remember to take a block with you. Straighten that front leg, lift the toes, and again, place that block underneath the left bum. At the highest height, but making sure that you can sit down on it without falling or tipping over, so really use your fingers. I have a bruise on my right knee, so it's a little bit awkward for me to adjust. So I'm gonna go right down to that lowest height, but again, you can take the third height if you'd like. And to be clear, the knee injury was from running, not from yoga. So again, soften the toes. Relax the arms, slightly bow the chin in. So this dragon series, which is the primary pose for today's class, it's a really potent symbol. Dragons, or serpents with legs, is a very feminine symbol Although now in Chinese culture, dragons is considered a masculine symbol and serpents in general, snakes, are seen as phallic symbols, they were traditionally associated with the goddess. So the times before the patriarchy. So reclaiming the serpent, the dragon, these creatures that are really symbolizing rebirth and renewal, shedding new skins, transforming, creating life from death, change is truly powerful. And again, it goes back to this divine feminine energy that we are connecting to and relating to in our Yin Yoga practice, because we need the balance, right? We need the balance of both energies. We need both the masculine and the feminine. So every side is different. And if you're feeling sensations right now, you can come up. We'll be here for a few more breaths. I invite you to use your discernment and come up if you need to. We're only here for a few more moments. Slowly, we're going to press our palms to the floor, lift our bum away from the block, and bring that heel close towards us so that we bend the left knee. Bring that right knee close in. Come back into our down dog and shake things out. Woo. You might want to lift the heels and drop them to one corner of the mat, then lift up and drop the heels to the opposite corner of the mat. All right. We'll breathe here in this restorative down dog for 2 breaths. Soften. We're not trying to make that really sharp V line. It's okay if there's some rounding going on. Just relaxing here and feeling that reverb, that rebound from the dragon splits. That may feel like soreness and achiness in that left hip. You might feel some other things as well. Inhale, right leg up. And exhale, bring the right knee in towards your chest. Moving forward. This time, turn the knee out to the side and lower that back knee. We're not really looking for a figure 4 shape with that front leg. We're not really looking for a figure 4 shape with that front leg. You can also tuck the heel close towards your groin. You're just getting a different stretch on the outer hip. Place that left hand forward in front of you. Inhale, lift the right arm open to the right, and exhale, thread the right hand through to the left side. This time you might want to bring the bolster close towards you actually, so that your head is resting on the bolster, on your blanket. Coming into our sleeping, twisted swan pose. Some of these yin names are a little bit more evocative, from the vinyasa terms. This would be pigeon in vinyasa, but we're calling this a swan, so it's very pretty. Again, this twist is optional. There's a lot of sensation right now, upright. You can just stay in that upright swan because you're still working We're just adding a forward fold and then a side twist in this variation, but you're still opening up the hips, which is what we're really focused on in today's class. All these other things are just extra things just to add some more layers to it. Inhale, press yourself back up. Move the bolster out to the side. Tuck that back foot. Press yourself back up so that you can lift that right foot back into down dog. Pedal out the heels. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, bring the left knee in towards your chest and bend the left knee out to the side. And then slide that back knee straight. Slide the back leg straight, coming into your upright swan. Again, readjusting if you need. Bring that knee in or that knee out. You know, you have to make that judgment call because you're going to be here, breathing here, right? So this time, right hand straight forward in front of you. You can even just place it on top of the block. Inhale, open up to the left. Exhale, thread the left hand through to the right side and place that left ear, left cheek on the bolster. And you begin to close your eyes. We're winding down today's yin class. We did a lot of work on opening up our hips. And so well done to everyone here. Taking this time to bless yourself, bless all the parts of yourself. Bless your energy. And also give a blessing to everyone else who may be practicing to this video. Inhale, slowly press yourself back up. Moving the bolster out to the side. Tuck the back toes. And then press yourself up. Bring that left foot back. Down dog once more. Shake it out. We'll do a mini child's pose. Sit back onto your heels. You can turn out the knees if you find that now you're more open and that's more accessible and that feels good for you. But if you find that's really a lot of hip opening, you can close the hips as well. So bring the knees in towards you. Reach the arms forward and let the forehead drop. It's interesting to know how different our bodies and the bones are created and structured. Noticing whether if you open up the hips, you might feel bone against bone, or if you close the hips, you might feel bone against bone. Inhale, reach the arms forward, and as you exhale, see if you can sit your bum back onto your heels just a little bit more. And inhale, press yourself back up. One of our last two final poses for today, we're going to come into lie on our belly. I'm just readjusting myself so that you can hopefully see everything that I'm doing. Placing your palms underneath your shoulders, untuck the toes. We are going to extend the right arm out to the side. That left palm is still on the floor. Use the strength of the left palm. Press away from the left side. So now that you're coming to rest on the right side. As you do so, lift that left knee up towards the sky. You're planting that left foot on the floor. You can bring your heels in closer towards you. Notice that the more you press the left palm against the floor, you're moving yourself back and you're giving yourself more of a stretch in the upper body and the shoulder, and you're also increasing that openness in the hip as well. You can always close the knees and just lie here at any time. We'll take 5 breaths. This is one of my favorite poses, broken wing. I use this in vinyasa class too, and just It's just too good not to use. Slowly return from whence you came, so close the knees. Extend the legs and roll back onto your belly, and we'll do the other side. So right palm underneath the shoulder, extend the left arm down the side. Now use the strength of the right palm, press down on the floor so much so that you roll over to the left side of your body. You can bring the knees close towards you before you open your legs, and stay here. So noticing where you feel this. Do you feel this more activating in your shoulders or in your hips? These are just some things to note. Maybe some things to play with, right? I like to press my palm down and really get that opening in my shoulder. And you might find that the more you bring the knee, the top knee, away from the lower knee, you're going to get more of an opening in the hips, and that's going to create some sensation for you. One more breath. Inhale through your nose. And then exhale, side out. Close the knees, extend the legs, and again, using the right palm, roll yourself back onto your belly. And then roll yourself completely on your back. We'll finish off class with twisted roots just to kind of close everything off together, give our hips a little bit more of a counter pose action, and also close everything off with a spinal twist, which is always really great. So how we're gonna start is bend your knees, feet planted on the floor, cross that left leg over the right. You can even hook the ankle, hook the left foot behind the right ankle if you have that room and if you want to. Otherwise, readjust your hips so that they're more to the left, and then lower the knees down to the right side. You can cactus shape your arms, so bend them or extend them straight out. And the final touch is to look over the left shoulder, both shoulder blades on the floor. If your shoulder blades aren't on the floor, you can bring the knees back. But if this is uncomfortable for you, you can also use a bolster, right? You're still getting that spinal twist, but there's less of that unnecessary pressure and burden. And also just feeling it out. The more you get settled into this pose, you may find that your body starts to acclimatize, right? And the props help us. The props are nice ways for our body to feel supported so it knows where in space it is. Three breaths. Inhale, back to center. Readjust the hips. Uncross the legs, and this time right leg crosses the left. Again, you can hook the right foot behind the left ankle. Moving the hips over to the right, and then let the knees fall over to the left side. Again, noticing if your shoulder blade is popping off. If it is, bring the knees back up. If it feels uncomfortable for your knees, bring a blanket or bolster underneath. Begin to close the eyes if that serves you. Across your chest, the front body. And letting go of any last thoughts or feelings that you may have. Let that all go. different now from when you first started this practice? How is your energy? How is your body? Inhale, slowly bring the knees back to center, readjust the hips, and extend the legs out wide. We're coming into our Shavasana, our final pose for today, so you can extend the legs, turn out the toes, palms face up. You can take your blanket and bring it over you. Taking a few minutes for yourself. And thanking you for showing up today. For taking this time to restore your energy levels, to rebalance the masculine and the feminine in you, and reclaim and reconnect to the yin that is within all of us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope to see you next time.